Let's touch base with Abhishek Bansal, CFO, Justdial. Thanks very much for taking out the time to speak with us, Abhishek. A third consecutive quarter of double-digit revenue growth year-on-year will improve uptick in paid listings. But it's closely tracking the increase in employee costs. What will be the trend near-term, according to you?
See, this particular quarter was a very healthy quarter for us from most standpoints. So firstly, on the revenue growth, we had about 13.7% year-on-year revenue growth, which was highest in last 12 to 13 quarters. That particular revenue growth, partly it was a result of volume growth. Paid campaigns had about 7% year-on-year growth and another 6.5% due to realization growth. So as we have maintained in the past that it's a healthy mix of both the levers, realizations as well as volumes, which we would ideally want to see, that is panning out. In terms of employee cost, yes, our particular feet on street additions have been aiding us. So last 4 to 6 quarters we have put efforts into ensuring that we get our productivity in place, we get efficiencies back into our ecosystem, which has helped our particular margins as well. In fact, on employee cost, we have been able to control those particular costs quite well. So I think overall, whatever strategy we have followed for last few quarters, it's turning out to be pretty well.
But what's the revenue coming from top cities and increasing traction from tier 2 and 3 ones, which affect realizations and margins?
So tier 2, tier 3 cities have been doing extremely well. So tier 2, tier 3 cities today contribute broadly about 24.5% to our revenues and about 45% to volumes. So we are expanding our particular presence in as many towns and cities as possible, and the same trend is expected to continue going forward as well.
Right. Cost control efforts are also reflecting in 16% reduction of other costs, which help post the 26% EBITDA margins, I guess. How much more room do you think there is for cost rationalization, given that 21 crore rupees ad expenses so far have already been incurred this year? And what EBITDA margins are you looking to maintain through the second half?
See, in the first half of this particular fiscal year, our adjusted EBITDA margin adjusted for non-cash ESOP expenses were about 29%, which were extremely strong. Going forward, I think about 25-26% should easily be maintained. In the first half, we had about 21 crores of advertising spend, which we think will be higher in subsequent quarters. So overall, business has good amount of operating leverage. EBIT margin, which I think is a even better indicator because a part of our capex is becoming opex in nature. EBIT margin for first half was around 20-23% versus just about 14% last year. So overall, operating leverage is